Welcome to Ireland Daily News. Today is the 7th of July 2026. Story 1. According to the latest My Home report, national asking price inflation for homes rose to 5%. The increase in the first quarter was 4.7%. Asking prices outside of Dublin rose by 5.4%. The increase in the capital was 4.5%. The median asking price for a home nationally was €395,000. The median asking price in Dublin was €495,000. The median asking price for the rest of the country was €350,000. Bank of Ireland chief economist Parnell Square says homes sold for 7% to 8% above asking price. This indicates that competition among homebuyers remains intense. Although affordability is under pressure, wage growth is keeping pace with house prices. Market liquidity is currently at its lowest rate since 2014. Only 2% of homes are currently listed for sale. There were 14,200 properties listed on the My Home website in June. This compares to 12,600 during the same time last year. Notices for termination of rental tenancies rose by 50% to 7,062 in the first 3 months. Story 2. Met Éireann has issued a weather advisory. Temperatures in some areas will exceed 25 degrees this week. Local temperatures could reach 30 degrees on Friday. The heatwave conditions will last from tomorrow until next Tuesday. Forecaster Andrew Doran Sherlock says a warm air mass is moving over Ireland. This may lead to tropical nights in some places. Meteorologist Mark Bowe warns that high overnight temperatures may make sleeping difficult. He advises keeping windows closed during the day to block out heat. While not as extreme as other parts of Europe, it is significantly warmer than usual. The weather will remain mostly dry and sunny throughout the week. Story 3. Dublin City Councillors have approved borrowing up to €100 million. This move aims to address the rising costs of the Parnell Square Cultural Quarter project. The projected cost for the first phase has now risen to €173.2 million. The project was originally proposed in 2013. At that time, the budget was only €60 million. The project aims to build a new city library and renovate the Hugh Lane Gallery. Progress has been repeatedly hindered because private donations failed to materialize. The City Council is currently seeking additional funding from the Urban Regeneration and Development Fund. If funding is insufficient, the Council will borrow from 2027 onwards. The first phase of the project is expected to be completed in the third quarter of 2030. City councillors have unanimously agreed to the borrowing plan. Story 4. Microsoft has notified the Irish government that its Irish operations may face job cuts. This is part of a global layoff plan by the company. Microsoft plans to cut about 2.1% of its global workforce. This involves approximately 4,800 positions. The Department of Enterprise has received a notification of collective redundancies. Microsoft employs about 6,000 people in Ireland. Microsoft Ireland has refused to provide a regional breakdown of the cuts. Microsoft's share price fell by nearly 23% in the first half of 2026. The company is facing pressure from high investments in AI infrastructure. The profit margin of Microsoft's gaming division has dropped to 3%. Division head Asher Sharma stated that the business needs a restructuring. Over the past 5 years, the division has invested more than $20 billion. However, annual revenue has decreased by nearly $500 million. Microsoft is considering restructuring or spinning off the Xbox unit. Story 5. The First Home scheme has approved over 11,000 applications since its 2022 launch. The scheme has supported nearly 6,000 home purchases to date. It has provided nearly €393 million in support. The scheme has increased price ceilings by €25,000 in 8 counties. These include Clare, Donegal, Kerry, Leitrim, Limerick, Mayo, Roscommon and Sligo. The average support provided is about €67,000. This represents 17% of the average purchase price. 67% of users are also using the Help to Buy scheme. 72% of live approvals are in Dublin, Cork, Kildare, Meath and Louth. Chief Executive Michael Broderick says the scheme is continuing to grow. Minister for Housing, Local government and heritage. James Brown says government investment is helping thousands achieve home ownership. Story 6. St. Corban's National School in Nos says it is being punished by the Department of Education. The school previously operated 2 junior infant classes. It was asked to enroll 25 children to address a local school place crisis. The department refused to provide an extra teacher, stating the school did not meet the criteria. The school now faces 2 difficult options. Cancelling the class would leave 25 children without a place. Merging 2 first-class groups would create a large class of 34 pupils. This exceeds the department's average pupil-to-teacher ratio of 23:1. Parent Jane Malone says the situation is unacceptable. Parents have contacted Education Minister Hildegard Norton for a resolution. The department says the school did not meet the threshold for an additional teacher. Schools must manage classes within existing allocations. That's all for today's Ireland news. Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow.